Gartner predicts that by the end of 2027, companies will scrap over 40% of their agentic AI projects. These initiatives are collapsing under the weight of spiraling costs and a total lack of risk control. Agentic AI systems operate as digital employees. They are autonomous systems capable of independent agency, reasoning through multi-step problems and executing entire workflows without continuous human supervision. Imagine hiring a team of the world's most brilliant experts to run your company. But instead of putting them in a boardroom, you lock each one in a separate, soundproof glass room without a manager. Inside those rooms, these agents work at machine speed. But because they are completely isolated, they cannot communicate, they cannot share data, and they cannot coordinate toward a unified goal. The enterprise AI crisis is a failure of systems integration. Even the most intelligent models cannot produce results when they lack an orchestration layer to manage their actions. This management gap is solved by an infrastructure layer known as orchestration. Orchestration is the framework that coordinates different models, tools, and data sources into one functional workflow. Without this layer, agents have no way to reliably hand off subtasks to one another or maintain a shared context. You end up with agents repeating the exact same work or actively conflicting with each other's actions. Because AI operates in milliseconds, traditional human oversight cannot keep up. By the time a human completes a manual audit, an unsupervised agent might have already executed thousands of problematic actions. Deploying high-speed autonomy without a centralized management layer scales enterprise chaos rather than productivity. This chaos manifests in specific ways. First is agent sprawl. Different departments deploy independent agents using isolated cloud environments that cannot talk to each other. Next is silent drift. As foundational models are updated over time, the exact reasoning path an agent takes to solve a problem will subtly change. Without central monitoring, these shifts go completely unnoticed. A tiny logic change at step 1 of a workflow becomes magnified as the agent proceeds, eventually resulting in a catastrophic failure by step 10. Then there is context loss. A fraud agent blocks a user's account for a foreign transaction, unable to see a support agent authorize the travel. Without a persistent memory layer, these stateless agents suffer from severe amnesia. The result is a deeply fragmented customer experience that actually produces more errors than the manual human systems it was designed to replace. When errors happen, companies face compliance exposure. This is the black box problem. An agent takes a legally significant action, but when an auditor asks why, the system cannot explain its reasoning. Under emerging frameworks like the EU AI Act, deploying high-risk autonomous systems without transparent audit trails is a direct violation, carrying penalties that can reach tens of millions of euros. And while legal risks loom, financial bleeding happens immediately through spiraling inference costs. Unmanaged agents will often default to using the largest, most expensive language models to execute trivial, repetitive tasks. When you combine that with redundant work and recursive reasoning loops, server bills can easily spin 3 to 5 times higher than initial project estimates. Unorchestrated AI is a direct threat to both your corporate compliance and your operational margins. To fix this chaos, organizations have to dissolve those isolated glass walls and finally connect their digital experts. This is the orchestration layer. Frameworks like LangGraph step in to manage the complex logic loops, ensuring that tasks are properly delegated and structured across the entire workflow. Using protocols like A2A and MCP, agents from different developers discover each other, share context, and access databases. The orchestrator acts as a central dispatcher, routing data to cheap models for simple tasks and reserving expensive models for complex problem-solving. This infrastructure provides the missing manager that autonomous systems desperately require to function safely at an enterprise scale. Crucially, orchestration allows you to build in strict human-in-the-loop checkpoints. The system handles the heavy lifting, but pauses to let a human review and provide judgment on high-stakes decisions before they execute. Because every handoff and API call is managed centrally, the system automatically generates the exact audit trails and explainability logs that regulators demand. Make no mistake, autonomy without governance is a liability. The organizations that will actually see a return on their AI investments are the ones that learn how to orchestrate their digital workforce.